Hi guys, so we're fast encroaching on the holiday season, and for many gamers, the holidays are a time in which to stock up on some of the best games released throughout the year. This year saw the release of a load of great games, and I've been lucky enough to play some of them, and so I thought I'd make a list of the games I felt really stood out this year, and many should aim to play sometime in the future. Obviously, it goes without saying that this list is based on personal opinion and is limited to the games that I have actually played. And thus, in the comments, I would like to see some suggestions of games that I should aim to play. So without further ado, here's 6 games to include on your Christmas wish list. In the first few moments of starting Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, the player is already made aware of the sensory overload Senua consistently has to put up with. One hears voices of several people who are not there, objects are there one moment and the next they're not, and enemies disappear into thin air once defeated. Together with the very good visuals, this all works in creating a very tense experience, ultimately resulting in the player really feeling for the character. Quite simply, from the moment I started this game, I was eager to play further to ultimately learn the end of the story. And I think that any game that is able to invoke such a desire in any person is definitely worth playing. The one common phrase that I've heard quite a bit when reading comments on Super Mario Odyssey is that Nintendo understands fun. As that is generally the primary objective of a video game, I don't think the game can really be afforded any higher praise. You know, there has been a lot of debate about whether the 3D platform genre is actually dead, as more often than not, people are very disappointed with new releases within the genre. This year alone saw games like Knack 2, Yooka-Laylee, and Sonic Forces be greeted with rather lackluster reviews. If anything, Super Mario Odyssey shows that there is still space for 3D platform games within the current gaming environment. You know, I love platformers and I've played quite a few of them this year, and Super Mario Odyssey really stands out as the definitive platform experience this year. I understand that this game was only released last month, and this is why I may be feeling this way at this point, as you know, it's still fresh in my mind, but the sheer amount of fun that I'm having at the moment while playing this game simply makes it worth owning. Very much like Super Mario Odyssey, I think the best way to describe Wolfenstein 2 is just to say that it is a very fun game to play. Somewhat a rarity nowadays, Wolfenstein 2 is a single-player FPS shooter. The game has the player journeying through a crazy but very compelling alternate history story in which the Nazis won World War II, and thus the player attempts to overthrow the Third Reich, pretty much like the previous installment into the series, but this time set in the US. You know, to complement the rather interesting narrative, the game also delivers fast-paced gameplay in which the player takes on hordes of Nazi soldiers in quick succession, almost as if they're single-handedly destroying an entire army by themselves. While some people may not necessarily enjoy this idea, I do know that many will find rushing enemies while dual-wielding 2 massive weapons very entertaining, and I am one such person. So I've already covered why Cuphead is a great game, so I'll try not to be too repetitive here. Basically, Cuphead is a challenging run and gun game. Despite the fact that it is quite a difficult game, the title's systematic essence as well as the simplistic nature of its control scheme is very appealing to a lot of gamers and does provide this feeling that one can actually beat boss levels, even if one has tried them over 200 times and failed. While I understand that this may be very off-putting for some, I can honestly say that Cuphead is a game that has provided me with intense feelings of satisfaction that is felt in so few games nowadays. It has also provided me with some great co-op experiences that basically doubled these feelings of triumph when bosses were beaten. Let's not talk about the failures though, let's just leave it here. Now, playing through Horizon Zero Dawn was quite simply one of my favorite experiences this year in any media. Immediately after starting the game, I was driven to find out exactly what happened to the world and why exactly it was left in this post-apocalyptic state with robot dinosaurs roaming around killing people. Then there's also the fact that the game has got a world worth exploring. As the player explores the game world, not only do they begin to learn more about their environment and the story, but they also learn the exact skills and equipment that is required to efficiently take down each and every machine creature. The fact that one has to prepare for battles and study up on creatures just makes the experience all the more rewarding, particularly when one is successful in taking down the machine being hunted. I really do believe that if you own a PS4, this is a game you have to own. Now, this is the game that I bought a Nintendo Switch for, even though I had been undecided on the console on release. It's safe to say that the game had some pretty high expectations to live up to, and live up to them it did. Now, I have spent so many hours playing this game, simply exploring Hyrule, looking for shrines, and completing quests and puzzles. A very common criticism of many modern open world games is that after a while it feels as if the player is engaging in mindless grind after grind to reach the game's end. In Breath of the Wild, one doesn't really feel this way, or at least I didn't. And to me, this is praise enough to suggest that this is definitely a game not only worth playing, but also worth owning a console for. Every time I start this game, I'm extremely excited to play it and discover the secrets I have yet to find. And this is a feeling that so few games are able to sustain over long periods. Quite simply, I love this game, and I'm so happy that I bought a Switch to play it. So this is my list. Are there any games that you feel should be included on this list? What was your favorite game this year? Please share in the comments down below, and if you liked this video, please remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.